Safiya! Free Dr. Abu Safiya!
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to the Struggle Video News. We start with some good news. Mohammed Ibrahim, the 16-year-old Palestinian-American teenager from Florida, who was imprisoned by Israel since February, has been freed. He has never been charged with a crime and never appeared in court, thanks to all of you who campaigned for his freedom.
A moment over 9 months in the making. American teenager Mohammed Ibrahim, who was arrested in a midnight raid as he visited family near Ramallah, finally sees his loved ones again. He faced allegations of throwing stones at cars, something Mohammed denies, and was locked away by Israeli authorities in 3 detention centres and prisons, including the notorious Offa prison, where he lost roughly a quarter of his body weight. Israel has a well-documented record of imprisoning minors and allegations of Palestinian prisoner abuse. Yet, as an American citizen who was 15 years old at the time of his arrest, Mohammed's case drew widespread attention both in the US and internationally.
إخراج عنه إنه الحكومة الأمريكية حطوا ضغط على إسرائيل والشعب الأمريكي يعني وقفوا مع محمد عشان هو طفل وما فيش عليه القضية يعني يقول إنه بيستاهل سجن. بالآخر إنه القنصلية الأمريكية ظهروا في قبل 2.5 أسبوع في السجن واعترفوا إنه عنده وجع وأمراض ووجع راس وبطن. فوانت سمعوا في أمريكا الشعب والحكومة عرفوا إنه في مرض وفي هذا حطوا ضغط قوي على إسرائيل وساعدوا والحمد لله في يعني الفرج عليه اليوم يعني بس يعني في الآخر الضغط الأمريكي ساعده.
It still took a guilty plea and a suspended sentence to finally get Mohammed released and back into his family's arms. But for everyone here, it's some closure to what has been a 9-month nightmare.
Now we turn to the Courage Award given out this week by our parent group, the Middle East Crisis Committee. It was awarded to Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya of Gaza, currently imprisoned and tortured by Israel. The event took place in the Palestine Museum US in Woodbridge, Connecticut. We begin with a reading done by Bassel Al-Najjar of the group We Will Return. The reading was written by a practicing doctor in Gaza named Dr. Ezzedine Shahab. He tweets at Ez in Gaza.
The day had begun with hope, a fragile, trembling hope, like the first flame that flickers in a storm. We were preparing to open the medical point, 4 walls of wood, a roof of plastic, a table and a chair. Nothing more. And yet to us, it was a cathedral. For in lands where hospitals are rubble, a single room where mercy breathes becomes a temple of the living God. I had locked the door and begun to walk away when I heard a cry behind me, "Doctor, don't go, doctor." There are words that split the air like a lightning bolt. This was one of them. I turned and saw men running, barefoot, carrying a child whose body was too still, too light. They were running as if chased by the very angels of death. And there, beneath the open sky, I saw the horror that words cannot hold. The child's hand was gone, devoured by the fire of man. His bones gleamed white, obscene, like the laughter of war itself. His face, Oh, his face was burned into a mask of innocence and agony. He did not cry, he looked, and that look will haunt eternity. I pressed my hands to the wound, my useless, trembling hands, and I thought, what have we done, O Lord, that the earth itself explodes beneath the feet of children? The nearest clinic was 30 minutes away, 30 minutes between a wound and salvation. His name was Adham. He was 9 years old. He had been playing before his family's tent, holding a thin copper wire in his hand. He pressed it into the ground, not knowing that the soil of Gaza hides the fragments of war. The wire touched what men had left behind, and the earth exploded beneath him. In that single instant, the world was unmade. That day, I understood. The universe is smaller than the distance between a wound and a doctor. And in Gaza, that distance is infinite. But even among the ruins, something greater than despair stirs. The child was carried away, and I stood there alone. The blood of innocence on my hands, yet I felt that same blood beating in my own veins. In that moment, I knew that as long as one man bends down to save another, God has not abandoned the world. Tomorrow, the medical point will open. It will not be a hospital, it will be a whisper against the storm. But every whisper of compassion is stronger than the roar of cannons. I will open the doors again because mercy is an act of defiance, because healing is resistance, because one small lamp of kindness lit in a night like this is enough to shame the darkness of a century.
Middle East Crisis Committee Vice President Justine McCabe talked about the history of the award and read off the certificate.
Now, on behalf of the Middle East Crisis Committee, we're going to present, or I'm going to present on behalf of the committee, the Courage Award, which honors individuals for their courage and human rights advocacy. Past recipients include the 2023 inaugural award to Egyptian-British activist Alaa Abdel Fattah, imprisoned in Egypt and finally released and pardoned in September of this year. The 2024 Courage Award was presented to all Palestinian journalists and media workers, 123 of whom were killed in the first year of the genocide. Now over 270 have been killed. Again, we're honored to present the 2025 Courage Award to imprisoned Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya. And I'd like to have, I'm going to read this and then have Dr. Phil Brewer from Doctors Against Genocide come up. The award says, we honor Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya for his extraordinary courage and dedication to his patients during Israel's genocide in Gaza. As director of Kamal Adwan Hospital, he defied the Israeli forces when ordered to shut it down. He continued to work after his son Ibrahim was killed on hospital grounds, and even after he himself was gravely wounded. He was true to his vow, I will stay inside my hospital until the last moment. His solitary walk in his white coat amid the rubble of his hospital to an Israeli military vehicle is nothing less than iconic bravery. On December 27, 2024, Dr. Abu Safiya was abducted by Israel forces. He has been imprisoned ever since without charge, enduring torture and mistreatment. Today we present the citation in deep admiration of his bravery, his leadership, and his humanity. We also established a fund to support the campaign for his release and for the freedom of all imprisoned medical workers. So Dr. Philip Brewer is going to accept this on behalf of Dr. Abu Safiya.
Dr. Abu Safiya is in prison. One of his sons is dead. Other family members are in Kazakhstan, 10 hours ahead of Eastern Time. The family sent a letter of acceptance that was read at the ceremony by Dr. Lisa Goldman Huertas.
The family of Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya extends its deepest gratitude and appreciation to the Middle East Crisis Committee in Connecticut for granting this Courage Award in honor of our father, and to all the institutions and organizations that took part in organizing and supporting this important humanitarian event. We especially thank healthcare workers for Palestine, Connecticut, Doctors Against Genocide, the Palestine Museum, and all the participating groups whose united efforts and voices stood firmly in support of truth and in defense of Palestinian healthcare workers. The gathering of these organizations around a single humanitarian cause affirms that the message of our Father, the compassionate doctor, remains alive in the hearts of all people of conscience. Your efforts, initiatives, and ongoing vigils have left a deep impact on our family and serve as a testament that the world has not forgotten the man who stood against injustice while carrying the message of medicine and mercy. We believe that if our Father were among you today, he would have been proud of each one of you and of every voice that continues to defend his truth. And as if destiny wished to add a deeper human meaning to this occasion, the presentation of this award will happen the day after a day that holds a very special place in our hearts, the birthday of our father, Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, on the 21st of November. This coincidence transforms the moment into more than just an award. It becomes a symbolic message that his name remains present with us and his humanitarian legacy continues to live even on the day we remember his birth. Our family considers this event an important step on the path to justice and truth, and an extension of the struggle of all Palestinian healthcare workers unjustly detained. We affirm our commitment to continue carrying this message, documenting it and defending it in every way possible. From our hearts, thank you for not forgetting our Father and for proving to the world that the voice of truth can never be extinguished. The family of Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya.
The program ended with people in the audience holding up posters of Dr. Abu Safiya and chanting,
Free Dr. Abu Safiya! 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 Now! Free Dr. Abu Safiya! Now! Free them all!
Ramu Abdu writes on Twitter, this is Siwar Al-Jamassi, just a week ago, joyful that she was about to attend kindergarten for the first time in her life. Israel killed her, her entire family, and her grandmother, my sister. Why? Murders of 2 Palestinian men in the city of Jenin on the West Bank caught on video. We won't show you the actual killing, but what led up to it. Think about what you just saw. The men come out, they pull up their shirts to show they have no guns or bombs. The soldiers then curiously tell them to go into the building. The Palestinian men are not running, they're walking. The soldiers don't seem excited in the least. And then the soldiers kill the men. Haaretz reports the soldiers said, "We felt an immediate and tangible threat to our lives." The soldiers were released under, quote, "limited conditions," unquote. And the IDF spokesperson said, "The incident is under review by commanders on the ground." This past week, several members of Congress, all veterans of the military or national security, reminded men and women in the military to obey the law.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
For what these members of Congress said, they were threatened with execution and put under FBI investigation. Well, what's it all about? Likely it has to do with the U.S. attacks on boats near Venezuela. Some 80 people have been given the death penalty without charges or trial, supposedly for drug smuggling. We don't know the names of the people who were killed. We haven't seen any evidence that there's been drug smuggling by these boats. But we hear the magic words, "We are at war," and then all thoughts of law get thrown overboard. But these members of Congress bravely reminded soldiers and sailors that they swear an oath to the Constitution, and their honor requires that they obey the law. There's a major U.S. force near Venezuela, including the largest aircraft carrier in the world, and attacks or invasion are threatened. Listen to this Florida Congresswoman.
Venezuela for the American oil companies will be a field day because it will be more than $1 trillion in economic activity.
A field day. $1 trillion of business for U.S. oil companies. The pathetic thing is that the companies and the U.S. doesn't have to invade for this to happen. Maduro is already in business with the company Chevron, and to preserve his regime, Maduro won't hesitate to give them much more. In fact, he's already offered it. This from CBS News. President Trump confirmed a recent New York Times report that Venezuelan officials have offered the U.S. a huge stake in the country's oil, gold, and other natural resources, to end U.S. actions taken against the country. Trump said Friday of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, he has offered everything. He's offered everything. Ukraine. The president demanded that Ukraine accept a peace plan, pretty likely authored by Putin himself. Go to the homepage of Promoting Enduring Peace to see links to articles, including those in New Politics and by Professor Timothy Snyder, that completely skewer this surrender plan.
There's various other things they're doing. I don't have a lot of time, but they're going after, quote, Antifa, whatever that is. It's an idea, right? It's being anti-fascist, right? And they're trying to designate it as a domestic terrorism organization, which is like kind of a joke legally because it doesn't exist legally. But they also have this memo targeting all sorts of civil society groups for investigation, which is like McCarthyism, COINTELPRO, the Patriot Act allows the JTTF, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, to go after people like that. So there's all these things that has a little more teeth to it, and you gotta watch out for that, but we're gonna oppose that too, and they're not gonna get away with it. So the lessons from this is don't stay silent, don't obey or comply. I would say if fascism is established here, it will be because too many opponents of it gave up their rights voluntarily, like some of these colleges, law firms, media companies, politicians. No, you can't do that. If you don't speak up now, it might be too late. So we got to speak up. And I would contrast that to Mamdani. So he won the other day in New York City. So you have like no establishment support in the beginning, right? You had 1 million grassroots activists going door to door with organizations like Drum, going everywhere throughout the city, and people came out and really supported him, and then the establishment kind of like sort of, tepidly supported him at the end, and he called out Trump. Trump had attacked him right before the election, saying, oh, if he wins, like he's a communist, and if he wins, we're gonna cut off all aid to New York City. So in his acceptance speech, Mamdani knows how to handle this guy. He said, Trump, listen to 4 words, turn the volume up, listen to me. We're gonna go after you. We can stop you in New York City. New York City made you, and we know how to stop you.
Right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes there are a lot of spaces in the left that just love to talk about books and theory and things and see who has the deeper analysis and who sounds the coolest and who has the newest, sexiest words. And that is not doing. Like we need to be able to get out on the street and knock doors. I see someone that just came from Danbury from knocking doors this morning. We have been knocking doors in Danbury for the past 6 weekends. Again, trying to talk to people on the street. You're talking about rebuilding the unions, right? Like we need to go back to the basics. Knocking doors, making phone calls, that's part of organizing. And if we really want to do real organizing, we need to get back to that. Because a lot of times I have a hard time with spaces that are full of folks that, again, just want to talk about books and theories and all these things. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't know the history, because we do need to know where we have been to understand where we are and where we're going. I do understand that, but a lot of spaces, a lot of times, are just filled with words and not a lot of action. And right now, we need to be out on the streets, because that's where the fight is. And the other thing that I'll say is we need labor. We need unions to get your shit together. Because right now in this country, if we look at who has power or who has some leverage, it's unions. And for people like myself that are on the streets fighting, like we need the groups of folks that, one, have the privilege, but two, that have amass power to stand up to big power. And a sign of the fact that, unfortunately, in Connecticut, either unions have spent time in other things that probably, I guess, are part of the things that have to keep the union running, right? But not actually building the power of working class people, is the fact that we have Lamont as governor. And that he is gonna run for a third term and he's gonna become the governor. He has veto bills for labor, and labor is still behind him. And so when it comes to immigration, he hired, for those that are familiar with the history of Connecticut, Danbury, he hired Mark Button. Mark Button has operated with immigration enforcement since he was the mayor in Danbury. Lamont knows no accountability. And I think that one of the bodies that could hold him accountable or fight for accountability is labor. And I'm afraid, and I'm afraid labor is not doing that. But as people have been saying it, I think that in everything that is happening, there is great opportunity for organizing, and there is great opportunity for us to create real change. And that means us having real conversations and being real with what's going on and what we're not doing. And so to figure out how we can do it together.
That's our program for today. I'm Stanley Heller. You've been watching The Struggle Video News.